I don't have time for this.
What is this? Another soul willing to brave the dangers of the wilderness? How thrilling to find my paramour out here in the wilds. Virgil Henderson at your service. Board surprise auditor and fifth finest shot this side of Halcyon. Delighted to meet you. Guards, don't make me laugh. How could I conduct surprise audits with an entourage of companions? I considered establishing a base of operations at the hotel, but feared someone would spot me. Discretion is extremely important for one such as myself. I'm here to conduct a surprise audit of the local holy caves, Rizzo's lone leased property in the reserve. It is rather notedly empty. Worse, it seems the evacuation occurred without anyone filing the proper emergency paperwork. Tut tut. All Rizzo's facilities require consistent logging of work conditions. I suspect there will be information regarding the bunker during its prime, should I look into the right places. With all this in mind, there is a small issue. I actually conducted an investigation of this facility several years ago. Since my biometric data might still be registered, it's possible that my entering the facility would not be legally classified a surprise. It's a puzzle, to be sure. I may be a dashing, gunslinging space auditor, but even I know better than to question protocol. The more order there is, the less suffering. It's basic science. Suffice it to say, it doesn't behoove one of Halcyon's most prolific auditors to try to bend the rules when he thinks no one's looking. Because, my friend, someone's always looking. An uncertain suggestion. There are no shortage of legal loopholes for freelance work, but I fear setting my work on the shoulders of someone I've never met before. I may be able to hire you, but let me ask you a question to see if you're fit to represent me first. How much do you know about free market economics? That's a sufficient amount of market knowledge indeed. I knew you were the right person for the job. Head into the holy caves and see what you can find. Keep your eyes open for journals, terminals, datapads, anything that might contain info about the operation. I'm counting on you. That's the last of them.
Wonder what they use this bunker for.
Incoming!
That's the last of them.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Identifying human footprints leading out into the wilderness. It is unusual for productivity disciples to wander more than a few feet from the camp. Scanning. Checking database of shoe sizes and height-weight ratios. Judging by footprint depressions and shoe size, these prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made by the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt, a person of medium height and build laid here for a number of hours, scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt. Agreed. Likely theory. Individual injured was unconscious, not dead, and walked away after awakening.
Easy does it. You're just that good.
Sorry, but we're a little busy right now. I'm sure one of the other guides would be happy to give you a tour.
Lawrence, do you know who you're talking to? We always have time for the inspector.
The inspector? That's you? I am so sorry. We didn't know what we were doing. We're so sorry. It'll never happen again. Oh, Law, it's all over. I told you someone would catch on sooner or later, Belle.
Lawrence, let me do the talking here. Inspector, pay him no mind. I'm sure you've bigger saltuna to can than us. Don't pay him any mind, Inspector. His upper story's a little gap-toothed, if you know what I mean. But seeing as you insist on sticking your... That is, since you're so curious, I'll fill you in on what we're doing. We, misplaced some people on our last tour. Misplaced them in the maws of some local predators. Now we're stuck here wondering how to get their room keys. Hey, we all got our priorities. Not worrying about those keys ain't gonna bring their owners back from the dead. Anyway, the sooner we get those keys back, the sooner we can make it look like the ex-guests checked out early.
Wouldn't you? I mean, the dangers were all listed in fine print on the waivers they signed. Least they can do is not destroy our reputation when they get themselves killed. We knew sooner or later this was gonna happen. We've got some hush money tucked away. If you can get those keys for us, it's all yours.
You kidding? You're welcome to.
Our bosses would want this situation resolved, just like us. We're the real victims here. The dead can't suffer anymore, but we can, and we will if we have to pay for all these lost keys. Did I just hear that right? The inspector is going to help us, Bill! Thank the stars!
We're not out of the woods yet. Let's just see what happens before we celebrate. We last saw the guests deeper in the wilderness, Inspector. That'd be a good place to look.
I'm getting the sissy sweats. really starting to stink up my armor. That's because you ate a whole pack.
You don't look like one of my hunters. What are you doing here? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's your business with him? Or with me? A threat? Seems you've forgotten you're outnumbered. Safety's off, everyone. Seems our prey has wandered to us.
Coming out. I'm getting the sissy sweats. It's really starting to stink up my armor. That's because you ate a whole pack of sissy bits and slept in your suit. What
You don't look like one of my hunters. What are you doing here? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's your business with him? Or... Certainly, I pay better. Oh, you void-damned sprat fuck. To arms, everybody. The old man's trying to scratch us off.
cover and come.
You don't look like... Maybe I am? Certainly. Your employer is an ex-Rizzo's employee who defected to Slug. He's currently in possession of a land grant that is rightfully ours. You cross him off and grab us that land grant, I'll see you rewarded. Handsomely. Excellent. I'm glad we could reach an agreement.
What is it? Something in my teeth? Ah, I knew it! You'd quit asking if you know what's good for you. Ha! Think me a blame fool? I know a corporate greaser when I see one. You people only understand one thing. Force. Well, I sure as hell have got force! Carl! Come here!
Captain. Is that Primal trying to talk to us?
Now, what is it you were saying? Oh, sure, it'll be fine until the zoners come looking for somewhere to put a new candy refinery and find an old man in his primal squatting on their land. Oh, hell. I can see when I'm beat. Fine, then. I just hope that whoever ends up in control of the reserve takes a while divvying things up. I guess the grant to the land complex is yours, stranger. And I guess our business is complete.
You return. I hope you bring news. You mean you don't know the story? This atmospheric complex was first annexed by Rizzo's. We'd planned a lovely wildlife-themed attraction to be built here. Alas, due to some backhanded and admittedly shrewd legal footwork on Slug's part, Rizzo's ownership of the complex was lost. Now we rent it from Slug. I seek only to have what was stolen returned to us. Oh, thank the law. And you've brought the land deed. To say you were more capable than the hunters I hired would be a vast understatement. I hope there were no complications. A giant primal? As a guard? Please don't make me laugh. No one tames primals, let alone senile old men. I'm sure there was, sweetie. Rizzo's thanks you for your efforts to allow us to regain what is rightfully ours. Here is your reward. You don't look like one of my hunters. What are you doing here? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's your business with him? Or with me? A threat? Seems you've forgotten you're outnumbered. Safety...
Oh, good. A fight. Captain, no!
You don't look like one of my hunters. Maybe I... A threat?
Incoming. That's the last of them.
Back, I see. You come bringing good news? Ah! Oh, me almighty, you know how to bolster an old man's spirits. Oh, thank you kindly, stranger. Oh, you're right, Cal. How could I forget? Oh, here's a reward for your trouble.
got a fight on our hands.
They come.
Hey there. You find us those keys? Hey there. You find us those keys?
Wow, that's really smart. That way we can just act like we found them out there. It's foolproof.
I guess if you've got Lawrence saying things like foolproof, you must have an ironclad plan. Thanks for the help, Inspector. You're a lifesaver. Hey there. You find us those keys? That's all of them. You're a lifesaver and a half, Inspector. Lawrence, you got the bits?
Let's see, which pocket did I... Oh, they're in my hand. Here you are, Inspector. We'll make sure to put in a good word with our friends, too. I can't wait. We'll wait here a little longer and start clearing out their rooms when the shift changes. Not sure what we'll do with their belongings.
Lawrence, we talked about this, remember? What belongings? Anyhow, thanks again, Inspector. Good luck with your investigation.
Nice. Desert. I wonder if they filmed Free Range Fixer here. Not that I've seen it. I'll keep my head down.
Easy.
Funny. You infected me with sorrow?
Not gonna let no one bring me down. I'm just having to make you smile.
I just wanted to make you smile.
Come here. Let me give you a gift.
Everyone all right?
And
Ah!
By imagining wealth, I can evoke prosperity out of the universe.
Using the promise of transcendence to lure profit seekers. Shameful.
Gotta keep going. I can feel my inner negativity seeping out. It's not good enough to be better than everyone. I need to believe I'm better than everyone.
Hello, welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. Stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced. Least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you? If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out. Or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability. Of course, I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now. Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more... Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet... I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet. Who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice? Certainly. Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped. I think so. Had the right size and shape. I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately, but if I misinterpreted the situation and reported...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
No!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health. Side effects from extended exposure include dizziness, nausea, and unconsciousness. Additional likelihood of organ shutdown and/or death. Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined. Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax. Hypothesizing potential side effects from herb consumption. Most likely outcome, decapitation.
Fruitful and productive welcome, sister. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe? My disciples come to and from the Grand Colonial, bringing supplies and information. Knowing what happens at the hotel affects my livelihood, after all. With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential. Absolutely not. Any statements by Ms. Helen about us were blown out of proportion and altered by the media. In fact, she quite recently... excuse me. I seem to be remembering something that never happened. Whatever the case, I'm sure her speech about us was all a misunderstanding. We offer a wide variety of seminars for all your corporate needs. Employees not working hard enough? Employees dying too often? It's most likely your managerial humors. And of course, seminars for balancing the energies of your business offices. Interior decorating is much more important for success than many would believe. If any of this sounds at all interesting to you, might I interest you in the first 82 words of our most popular seminar's introduction? Free of charge. Byzantines live lives fraught with competition, and that competition can be immensely stressful. You must, first of all, find a way to balance your thinking. Think not of bits lost, but of those you have yet to gain. After all, Peace leads to productivity, and productivity leads to profit. Though thought alone won't balance you. We have a strict regimen to promote humor clearing. Session attendees stand on burning coals, sit for hours in our productivity smokehouse, and of course, fast throughout. Precisely. The barriers within yourself will break down as your skin sweats and blisters, giving the evil humors the proper space to escape. It's my patented method. Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills. I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further? Humors? I know all about humors. I needn't be lectured about them by... Forgive me. I take my work very seriously. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because... yes. I suppose we can talk about her some more. I did not. She had no interest in my... Your tone of voice seems to suggest that you have information already, which also suggests you read my terminal. Whatever the case, I didn't... I did not. Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen... yes. I suppose we can talk about her some more. Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonials since I arrived several weeks ago. I hope you now realize that I had nothing to do with Helen's demise. I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, sister. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive... None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else? Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her. Your tone of voice seems to suggest that you have information already, which also suggests you read my terminal. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. Yes. Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, sister. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time. Yes. I suppose the more quickly we get off this subject, the better. I had a visitor, yes. But as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now. Oh, really? What did you find there? What did I dump? Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen. By mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness. I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session. My productivity-enhancing herbs typically do induce sluggishness, but I suppose they must have been enough to do her in, if her constitution was truly that weak. Laws, no. I hate guns. If I ever wanted to kill someone on purpose, I would have used a blunt weapon. Nothing quite like clubbing someone over the head. Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse. What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. It's your job to arrest me, isn't it? No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals, waiting for me to fall into a false sense of security so they can strike. I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to catch me in a lie. Get me to reveal my productivity secrets. No. You can't trick me. I've finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned. I can't say I'm pleased by being kept in the dark. I hope you'll come to your senses sooner rather than later, and have me arrested. Keeping me in the dark is hampering my humors. horribly, Inspector. I do hope you'll decide to arrest me soon.
Timeline discrepant.
Fruitful and I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. Certainly, certainly. But first, I'd love to interest you in one of my productivity seminars. We'll free you of those potential... Yes, but I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, sister. How might I assist? Yes, that's correct. Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she...
Watch out, Captain!
Excellent to see you again, my friend. Hope you've been keeping your head high. What are these? Research data pads? Not quite what I expected. Let's see what they say. Parasites, caves, thought control. He did what now? Well, it doesn't look like any of this is in violation, but it is disturbing. And disturbing a surprised auditor is as foul as failing to file proper paperwork. Rizzos shall pay dividends for my psychological damage. Here's your reward, my friend. Your contributions to the field of surprise auditing shall not go forgotten.
last of them.
It's Hunter. Hunter. Welcome back. What can I do you for? Hunter supplies. Get your Hunter supplies.
last of them.
Incoming!
I can't hear you laughing!
I just wanted to make you smile!
Trying to infect me with your sorrow? Oh,
Don't mess with us!
I just wanted to make you smile!
Thank the law, that's over.
Did we win? How exciting.
Did we win? How exciting.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch, Triple Bell Flakes, and Purple Berry flavored Power Nuggets, now with 12% more crunch.
What? What was that?
I'll bury you!
Salvage the gear. Stop the body.
Inspector, glad you're back. Thank you for being so patient with slug activity. I hope you'll forgive the delay. Welcome to the Piraeus Spaceport.
I don't like the way they're eyeing us, Captain.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Slug Light Underground don't like that much.
Slug light? Would that be some form of bioluminescence? No? Nothing?
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm, draw! What? Why ain't you doing nothing? You scared of us? Huh? Huh? I'm sorry. We're sorry. Please don't hurt us. We're not bad people. We're just confused. Someone paid us to say we were slug and intimidate you. I don't know who, I swear it. They only ever sent notes. That's everything I know, honest. We were only gonna rough you up a little. You gotta believe me. And we're real sorry. You don't need to tell us twice. Come on, all. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm a criminal, get it? They don't let me talk to law-abiding sorts.
If I made a bet with you at the Copper Bottom last night, let's call it off now. I can't stand the taste of life sprats.
Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit. Please explicate your defense into this unit's recording equipment.
My permit wasn't expired, Scrap Heap. You probably just scanned it wrong.
Error. Unit's permit reading equipment was updated only last week. Please tell a different lie.
Tell a different... You're a mechanical. You ain't got the foggiest idea whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Correct. Criminal. However, Constable Keen has decreed that this unit will remain here, questioning you every minute until you submit a confession. Error. Information on recent exchange lost. Restarting conversation. Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit.
You know what? My permit was fake after all. Let me out of here.
I don't know what to make of Sublight Underground. Or Slug, I guess. I can't shake the feeling they had something to do with Ms. Helen's death.
You got an appointment? Appointment? Yeah, that's why you're here. Appointment? Not entirely out of the question. Convince me. Wouldn't mind a new bolter pistol. I've fired mine so many times, the tips nearly fell off. Let's give Mr. Kincannon a ring. Mr. Kincannon, got a person of interest here to see you. Think they've got business.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send her up.
Thought I heard something. What do you think you're doing? All right, but I got my eye on you.
I don't know what to make of Sublight Underground. Or Slug, I guess.
Got an appointment?
I can't shake the feet.
Appointment? Yeah, that's why you're here. Appointment? Not entirely. Wouldn't mind a new bolter pistol. I've fired mine so many times, the tips nearly fell off. Let's give Mr. Kincannon a ring. Mr. Kincannon, got a person of interest here to see you. Think they've got business.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send her up.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A cursory fingerprint analysis shows this display case was recently opened or closed. Confirmed. The grip has been modified for a specific wielder, most likely the rifle's owner. Additionally, the plasma rifle sights appear to have been the fingerprints belong to Cedric Kincannon.
Oh, admiring my rifle. Had it custom fitted by a woman on Monarch. Why, if it isn't the inspector, I was hoping you'd swing by. Here for my alibi, I assume. Another murder? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just keep guessing.
There was an incident. You should have seen Eileen. Besides being an absolute gem of an assistant, she's a terror with a fountain pen. Raptidons aside, what was your incident, Inspector? Sounds as though you've already sorted it out yourself. In short, Slug has not sent anyone to rough you up, Inspector. That would be acting against our own self-interest. Now ask yourself this. Why would anyone give thugs Slug gear and send them after you? Right again, Inspector. But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you? Oh, that's good. That's very good, Inspector. I like this. Dominant. Aggressive, The woman in charge. I don't want to accuse anyone without hard evidence, though it may be worth noting Ludovico has motivation in spades. So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that settled, I assume you'll want to know where I was the night of Helen's murder. Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine? An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the land complex. I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe it dissolved? Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people. Which, as I said, you should not trust. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune. I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work, but I have a mystery of my own to solve, I'm afraid. Oh, Elliot stole from me, all right. Alas, you're right in that his was a singular isolated incident, and as such, does not resolve a concerning broader trend. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter. I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it. I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads, me scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator. You do recall, Inspector, that I'm not to be trusted? But certainly, whatever you say. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on my account. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Very well. A few. Helen was strangely curious about the private business operations around Eridanos. She said it was role research, but how much business know-how does one actor truly need for an action picture? I also arranged to have Helen supplied with mag picks, bypass shunts, and other hacking tools. She wanted to buy in bulk. That she bought in bulk? Not particularly. It takes time to learn to use tools like that deftly. I wonder, did she... A few. Helen, she said it would... I also arranged to have... Because she paid me to, Inspector. Besides, Helen was enjoyable company. She was confident, resourceful, determined, not unlike you, now that I consider it. That is the question, isn't it, Inspector? Tell me, do you really believe Helen's death was a mere crime of passion? Or one of petty career jealousy? A smart approach, Inspector. And yet, this murder is bigger than Miss Helen's personal life. Bigger than her latest moving picture. Her actions in the time leading up to her death do not align with those of an actor on Eridanos solely to promote Spectrum Brown. Stay sharp, Inspector. Now is not the time to lose focus. Because whoever did kill Helen is not going to come forward so easily. I just might. Your point, Inspector? Now that is interesting. I suppose we'll see, won't we? Be very careful, Inspector. I might. Your point, Inspector? Am I an official suspect, then? Intriguing. I'll look forward to how it all plays out. Be very careful, Inspector. I might. Your point, Inspector? Now that is... Be very careful, Inspector. One moment, if you please, Inspector. I've answered your questions. I believe it's my turn to ask you a question now. What, or who, made you decide to investigate me? Understandable. A man of my standing would naturally be tied up in all this, whether he wishes to be or not. Now then, did you need anything else? The original incident? I made him an offer he should have refused. An excellent deduction, Inspector. Our combative relationship stems from paperwork, mundanely enough. Rizzo's contracted Sublight to construct the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added. My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been, has made sure to water it daily with his bitterness and anger. Alas, I can't. I am, first and foremost, the head of Slug, and it simply wouldn't be good for business. Slug's control of Eridanos is a crucial step in my long-term plans for Sublight. The board needs to see irrefutable proof we are a respectable, legitimate business. Because one day soon, Sublight will obtain a seat on it. Meanwhile, our dear administrator is still laser-focused on old slights, which can be a nuisance. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities. I wish I could wink, but it always looks like I have something caught in my eye.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside.
You figured that out just by looking at it? Huh. We ought to talk shop one of these days.
Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location. Ominous threat transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a small analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles. The area within a 0.5 meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles. That is highly likely, Inspector.
What's that you found? No, wait, don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
What was that? What do you think you're doing? Consider this your...
I'm busy.